3, 2, 1. And we're live. What's up, K96 Podcast? It's your host with the mostest, Skinny Bones Keezy. What to do? As you guys could already tell, we have a new special guest. Let me introduce him. Saul Ochoa.
Sir, what it do?
What it do? What it do, baby boy? How are you, man?
Pretty good, man.
Let's tell the people a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So go ahead, ask questions.
All right, my man. What are you doing right now throughout this whole COVID situation, and I don't know what you want to call it, man, the pandemic? What are you up to right now?
Pretty much right now, I mean, like, I know how everybody else is, like, staying at home and stuff.
Right,
and,
right.
Like, you know, I mean, like, they're kind of worried to go out. And, like, my perspective, though, is, I mean, I got a business and,
Right.
you know, it's, you know, I can't really just stop working or not do anything. So, but it's kind of been, you know, working out for us, especially for that. And then I also have, like, I take care of my parents' business. So it's easier to, like, you know, for them, it's like I don't really have to go out and be with the public because it's a taco truck. So, you know,
Real quick, do you want to mention your business?
Yeah, for sure. My business or parents' business?
Yours.
All right. So I pretty much own a gym.
Right.
It's a group fitness facility. We work with like athletes. We do like sports performance classes. The major group is like fat loss, muscle toning, and that's like the biggest group we have right now. We also have like a female course, or not female course, a female class, and it mainly focuses on like lower body exercises and to improve the gaining muscle pretty much in the lower body. That's pretty much what all females kind of want. And so, yeah, we started that back in May 2019.
And look at us. Look at you. 2020 right now.
1 year later. I mean, we got COVID going on, like I said, but
I know. But did you have to shut down through COVID, or like what was that whole situation right there?
So pretty much when COVID actually started, we didn't initially shut down until they pretty much stated that gyms had to shut down. And so we were closed for about, I think, 2 months. About 2 months we were closed, but during that time we actually decided to move. We were like in a smaller unit in a lot. We were out in like an industrial area, and then from there we moved on to this unit that's like pretty much like right next door, but it was a bigger unit. Okay. We went from like 1,300 square feet to 2,500 square feet. Oh, that's a big improvement. Yeah, so during the COVID phase, during the shutdown at least, we pretty much were moving, so it kind of helped us a lot because it would be kind of hard to move during like being open and operating hours, because then, you know, it would be a hassle because we would have to do it like either in between classes or like after or before hours, and
it sounds like a lot. And then, I mean, like, you don't want all the athletes and everyone in the facility, you know, going through the hassle of seeing it all, or having to step over this.
Yeah, and it's like, to me, it was like having like, no, how can I say it? Like, one day they'll come in, full gym. Next day, like 2 things are gone. And then after that, like 3 things are gone. Just like, okay. So I was like, it was kind of good that we were actually closed. So for us, we would always try to find like the best, you know, out of the whole, you know, the worst situation possible. So
that's a good way to look at it. So now for the people, how old are you?
23.
You're 23 years old.
Turning 24 in November.
What made you decide at 23 years old, or 22 per se, when you first started it last year? Hey, my name's Saul. I know I'm young, but I'm ambitious and I wanted to do this. So like, what pushed you towards that?
Oh, for sure.
To start your gym.
Pretty much. So what happened was, I was going to school, going to college, and my parents decided to leave to Mexico. So they always leave to Mexico. My parents always leave to Mexico every January, and they stay for about like 3 months
Mexicanos.
Or so. So when they were gone, so I was helping them with their business, because that's what I decided to do, because usually they have to pay someone to do it. So I was like, why not do it? You know, why not help my parents out, right?
Exactly.
So I finally decided to step in and help my parents out. And so so I was going to community college, right? I was going to Delta, and I was helping my parents' business. and then I also was working at InShape.
Dang.
Yeah. So
definitely.
And then,
busy.
I have a whole, I have my daughter, and it's just like little stuff on the side that I have to worry about, like priorities and stuff. I mean, so what happened was that when they were over there, I just got kind of overwhelmed with everything that was going on, and I didn't feel like I had enough time to do things. And so the easiest thing that I thought was like, okay, my easiest option, I can't stop working because I need money. You know what I mean? And I can't just quit on my parents, you know what I mean? Just like that. And I was like, school, well, I can always get out and come back.
Right.
So I just decided to get out of school and just keep working and see how things were going. And I was working at InShape, and I wanted to be a trainer, but then I heard how wages to me weren't like really convenient the way that they work with them. And it's pretty much sales. And I was like, I'm not very good with sales. I cannot sell a membership
right.
or training, whatever it was. And I was like, well, in school they would say like, oh, just do whatever you're interested in, or, what are you good at, or whatever. And to me, I was like, I was always into health. So when I was going to school, I was actually into fitness and stuff. And like, I wanted to do something related to sports or something like that. But like I said, I got out of school. So I just thought my next option is like, I don't know. I was like, let me just start my own business. I don't know. It was like a random just thought, And I was like, what if we just open our own gym, with the help, obviously. And I had to go through like my parents while they were in Mexico, ask them if they thought it was a good idea to open my own business. And they were just like, okay. That was kind of random. We didn't see that coming because you were in school and whatnot. But of course, that's what you want to do. We're going to support you. Because my dad started his business when he was like 16. No, I lied. He came from Mexico when he was like 16, 17. Started when he started working in the truck, and did the same thing. He kind of built that like, interest in what he was doing, and said, you know what, I'm not just going to work for someone my whole life. I'm going to get my own taco truck. So, they thought, well, Saul was kind of going through the same path, and look where we're at. We were successful, so why can't we believe that he will be too? So
that's amazing.
Yeah, dude,
that's awesome to hear.
Yeah.
So your parents were in Mexico. You had all these responsibilities going on. You had the biggest priority of your life, having your daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that was pretty much keeping me from like, because I had the support from my parents to like, I didn't have to move out.
Good.
I didn't have to do anything. They would help me with her, like, honestly, like, I'm not going to say, well, dude, I didn't do anything, because they would honestly, like, they would help me buy the diapers. I wasn't working. And what they wanted me to do was focus on school. But obviously, as a father, I started to realize that I have to work. You know what I mean? How am I going to move out if I don't have a job? I wasn't going to wait till I was like 25 with a degree, or 26, 27 to finally move out. And my daughter's what? Almost 10 years old.
And not just that, but it's not just getting that degree, but then you actually have to go out and go actually find a job. So,
exactly.
Like, take it from someone who lost their job a while ago. Mm-hmm. It was really hard to find a new one.
Yeah, exactly.
But luckily, blessings came, and I got a better job and better opportunity. But even that's hard.
And that's what I'm saying. Is like, it's not as easy as people think it is. And I'm not saying that, you know what I mean? Like, well, if your parents were supporting you, then why couldn't you just continue that? But like I said, I couldn't just not work. I didn't feel right. But playing the role as a father, like, I feel like I have to provide on my own part and not take from my parents, which I, truly appreciate everything that they've done for us. They helped us a lot,
And I could attest to your parents, man. I was like, how long have we known each other? For like a decade now, man. I used to go over all the time. I think we used to order hats off of your mom's computer.
Yeah, dude,
from Zappos.
I don't know. We were like, oh
yeah, from Zappos.
We
dude.
were like, my mom would just be shopping on Zappos all the time.
Yeah, and like we were like, shoot, like what's like we'd get hats and whatnot off of there.
And remember G-Shocks?
Yeah, when G-Shocks are cool. I mean, like, they're still cool now. I just don't. I'm not a big watch guy, but So you got your daughter, the responsibility of it, feeling like the father that you now have to provide.
Yep.
How scary was it having those thoughts? Like, all right, I'm 23 years old. I'm at the time 22, 21.
Yeah.
I'm about to take a huge leap because it's not. So we were just talking about you being 21. You just gone through one of the scariest things when. What was that, like, if you're 21, 4 years prior to having your daughter, and you're 16, now you just left college, you want to start your own business, you got support, you got hope, what was the next step after that to start the business?
I mean, pretty much like
taking like step by step.
I think like, I mean, going back to what you said, like the support, I feel like having the support was probably like one of the biggest things, you know, because and that's like, some people don't have support and they have to struggle a little bit more. So I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna say that it wasn't that difficult to just say, hey, I want to start my own business, because sometimes it's not that easy. You know what I mean? Like, realistically, you have to be able to be like, get someone, or you have to be able to get qualified for a loan. And that loan is possibly, I mean, at 21, you barely have built your credit in anything. You know what I mean? So, but that's just kind of like, to tell the truth, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want people to think that, oh, it's the easiest thing in the world to just start a business. Like, it's not. But business wise, like, the next step was knowing that we had to invest a lot. And so I'm just going to say it was the investment. I'm going to say right now was 20 to 25 grand. That's
25 grand. Yeah,
that was an investment. And honestly, though, I mean, the way I thought about it was, okay, we have 25 grand that we owe, right? But think about when we pay that back, like 25 grand is not that much. I mean, people pay more for a car. You know what I mean? And we're talking about a business that is going to give you the income that you want to live off of, if you're driven, you know, and ambitious. Like you said, if you're ambitious enough to continue and fully commit yourself and dedicate yourself, and like I said, sacrifices was definitely one of the things that you have to take care of. So
starting out, what would you tell the person right now? My name's blah blah blah, right? I'm 20 years old, or let's say I'm 18. So I'm 18 right now. I'm fresh out of high school. You know, like, forget about the COVID and like all the, you know, like all the weird shit going on. But I'm 18. I'm interested in health, fitness. This is what I want to go to college for. Would you, and then keep in mind, like, let's say, like, you know, I'm all dedicated for it, right? Like, I'm all in. Would you recommend that person to go through school, or just invest in yourself? Or
I think that's a good question, because and what happened was, okay, like I went through 4 years of college, right, before I made this move. And those 4 years honestly did help, because it gave me not only, I mean, not because like, oh, what I did, I got a degree and whatever, no, but more like experience wise, I realized that college wasn't my thing per se. And it's not for a lot of people. I mean, I honestly think that you are very like dedicated to school, or you are more dedicated to the fact that you want to do something that's going to give you an income. Right. Because that's what we're pretty much told is going to happen. Right. And nowadays, to be real with everyone, I mean, I'm not political or anything, but from my experience, my dad would always tell me, look, if you're not fully committed to school, like if you really don't want to be in school, pick something that to study, or to join this like program, this like 6-month program to get certified in something, like, you know, work with HVAC, work with you know, like some type of like, I don't know, like fix fridges, learn how to do that, learn how to install certain things, learn how to paint, learn how to do something that you don't have to fully commit 4 years of your life to, and still get something out of it. So, well, my advice is, I mean, if you were to be, like you said, 18 and you really want to, you know, start a business, I would just say, don't go to school. If you have a good support system financially, I would say use it. And if, for example, if your thing is painting, right, go through, find a family member, a friend, anyone that does painting, right, and work with them for, let's say 6 months, 9 months, a year. It doesn't matter. That's still 1 year. That's still 3 years less than 4. You know what I mean? So do that for a year, and then, but during that time, make sure that you learn, don't just learn how to paint, but more like learn what it takes to have all the equipment you need. Like, remember that you also need equipment. You don't just go and start a business and without nothing. You have to have the right equipment, right? So, you know, you have the time, you got to learn how to have the right, like, customer service, right? You have to learn how to, you know, talk to and communicate with the people, how to spread like positivity with them, you know what I mean? So during this year, you're learning a lot. You know what I mean? You got to take, right. You're fully dedicated, and you have a plan. You're saying, well, I want to start a business in painting. I'm learning how to paint. So now I got to put myself in a business perspective and think, okay, when this year ends, hopefully I have learned everything that I need to know. I mean, year's done. Now all you have to do is pretty much apply what you've learned in a year, which is the same thing for school. You apply when you're going for like a nursing degree. You apply everything you learned in school, and now apply it to the job. It's the same thing. But now you're fully dedicated instead of wasting your time taking general ed classes and stuff, prerequisites. You're fully committed to one thing, and you're working. You're already making money, right? Because you're working.
You got a job.
Yeah, for sure. And now that job is teaching you something to start your own thing. So it's like, there you go. Just apply what you've learned, and then have your your financial support. Take advantage of that and start your own thing. And you just got to wish for the best. You know what I mean? So that would be my advice. I would just say I'd rather take a year than 4 to start your business. Like I said, taking a business is not always going to be successful. It's not always just going to be like, all right, I started a business and now I'm going to be rich. Like,
no, it's not the way it works.
Definitely not the way it works.
So now that you invested all this time and you know what you know, what type of mentality and advice would you give someone? So you just give the advice of, hey, if you're all in, go all in and start your business, right?
So
if you're financially secure and you have any hope, do it all in, right? Which something I agree with. Now talk to me a little bit, but talk to me about the mentality of it. So, okay, again, my name's whatever it may be. I'm 18, but maybe I'm all in.
Right.
Sometimes I may not have the mentality, and sometimes I'm like, dang, this is taking too long. Yeah. This isn't bringing me enough. What type of mentality do you have to have that you've been having and have the consistency of succeeding with it? Because again, personally, on an outside point of view, like your gym's awesome. It's doing great. You have clients. You have athletes in there. What's the mentality when it's not? When the athletes aren't in the
for sure.
What's that type of mentality?
That has to be definitely like the first, dude. Like it's crazy. Okay, like for example, the first like 4 months possibly. I mean, we opened in May. We didn't literally get it. It took us like up to September to get like 5 or not even 5, like 3 secure clients. Like that's 5 months. When we first opened, I didn't have a desk in the gym. I didn't have a chair. I didn't have any of that. Why? Because we just invested in all this equipment. Like I didn't have money to just. I need a table. Like I didn't focus on the small stuff because I really just wanted it to be like a very good quality gym. And obviously, good quality that's what's gonna result in business. Quality. Right? You have to have quality over anything. You have to have the quality. And so when we were in there, I mean, we're talking about May, we're talking about summertime, like it's going to get hot. I was in a warehouse, no AC, nothing, by myself. I mean, I didn't know what hours, you know what I mean? Like that's something you learn, for example, I didn't have like, okay, well, I'm going to be here for this many hours and then have a break and this many hours and lunch. Because when you start a business, you're 100% committed, even if it takes all day. Even if you don't even get $1 in the whole day. I was there from 12 p.m. to 9 p.m. with no break. I was just in there waiting for one person to just come in, learning how to learning the ways to get people in, because you're not just going to be able to sit there and expect people to come. Like you got to remember that no one knows about you. You're a brand new business. No one knows who you are. You know what I mean? Until you advertise it. And that's the biggest thing is you got to learn how to advertise your business, get your name out there, anything, So, it took, 5 months. Just imagine. I was like, I want to quit.
Right.
I'm done, dude. Like, you know what? Like,
so
what's the point of
this?
this?
Through that? So, what type of advice would you give
one thing would be definitely like, you got to remember, you just invested
$25,000.
You owe $25,000.
You got to go in.
You can't just be like, you know what? I'm just gonna find another job and hopefully I pay it off. Like, no, trust me. You know how long it's gonna take you to pay that? No. So you fully dedicated yourself to a business. You got to continue. You know what I mean? And not only that, also you got to have someone who can mentally keep motivating you mentally, not physically, just mentally. Because like my mom and dad would always tell me, like, look, when we started our business, we were there from a certain amount of time to a certain amount of time, just like me, you know. And they were like, we would make like $30 to $50 in 9 hours. Like, you're talking about like almost a full day, and you get $50. When you could have made that at a regular job. You could have worked 8 hours and made $50. You know what I mean? And you have like you're in a store, AC'd, you get a break, you get 2 breaks, you get a lunch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's comfortable, right?
You're comfortable, and you make the same amount. But you got to remember that you're always just going to keep making the same amount at that job. In this business, as long as you keep driving, those $50 eventually will end up being $100, and then $150, and then $200, and then we'll get to like $500, $1,000, and then you'll just be like, oh dang, it's actually happening. But that's because your name is out there. As soon as your name gets out there and you're providing quality service, it's going to happen. And you just have to believe. And there's always going to be a downfall somewhere.
Okay, yeah.
Always. Right. And it's the same thing. That mentality just has to come back. You know what? There's always going to be downfall. You just have to keep that in mind. It's not always going to be perfect at all.
So how do you find that push when, okay, damn, my gym it's been open for 5 months. I have 3 to 4, 3 to 5 clients. I'm not going where maybe I want to go.
I would say,
how do you find that push? Is it within yourself, or is it external or internal?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like I said, you have to want it. You have to tell yourself it's going to happen, because in reality, look at all the businesses that are around you. How are they successful? How were they successful? I'm pretty sure they didn't start at, at so many clients or so many customers or whatever it is. They started at nothing. You always start with nothing. You know what I mean? That's how everyone starts. So you got to think, well, if they were successful, well, then I have to keep in mind I'm going to be successful too. And then you have obviously external who keep telling you, like, you know what, it's going to be all right. But also you have to think about all the resources that you have.
So you have the resources, right?
Right. Yeah. So I would say definitely take a look at what type of resources you have to something that you can relate to. It doesn't matter if it's people, a certain business, even if it's someone who is for example, like someone on Instagram or YouTube that you find, motivating. Even stuff like that can help you out. Because for me, it was like, I have this person that I follow. His name is Christian Guzman on YouTube, and a lot of people know him. People in the fitness industry know who he is. He would post videos on YouTube. Right, he was already this big guy. Right, he was already big on YouTube, but he would post about, upload videos about when he would in the past, when he first started, he had a gym that was smaller than mine. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he got like 10 people in there and was excited about that. You know what I mean? That shows you something. That shows you that, dude, one person makes you excited. You know what I mean? So external resources like that, even like that, just watching, even though if you can't like actually communicate with them, but the fact that you can watch someone else's story, like, and they were exactly where you are now, that's what keeps you going. You know what I mean? And like I said, my parents were definitely a resource because they went through the same situation I did. Like I said, they were like, you got to just stay in there. One person will come. At least one person will come. It doesn't matter who it is, even if it's a family member or a friend, someone will come and they'll support you. There's so many people out there who need some type, especially fitness. Like, there's always going to be people who are into fitness. Right. You know what I mean? Very popular. So it took one person to come in, and that like sparked me. Like, oh hell yeah, this is happening, dude.
Yeah,
like,
now
we're getting somewhere now.
Now we're getting
and
somewhere.
we're talking about one person. And at the time, it was like, that's $100.
Real quick, let me interrupt you. If you have one person, can I ask you how many clients you have now?
We reached 30 in a year.
Look at that.
Yeah, 30 in a year.
Yeah. So looking back at that, aren't you glad you stayed?
Oh hell yeah! You know what I mean? Those 5 months of doing nothing was definitely worth it. Yeah.
So sure. Those 5 months of hell, I'm gonna call them for you.
Oh yeah.
You had those 3 to 5 clients, and then after that mark, was it a spark that
it was like,
then people started coming in like crazy?
So
or?
what happens is, I mean, you got to keep in mind, most of the time when you start to make a business in the beginning, it's word of mouth for sure. Right. It's someone who's, you know, it's always like this one person that comes and tells their friend, hey, there's this new gym that I'm going to and I think it's cool, come join me. There you go. Now that's 6 people. You know what I mean? And then those people tell someone else. And another thing right now, because we're big on social media right now, it's like a social media era. That takes a lot too. People would start posting about it, and if you're like, "Hey, what is that?" You know what I mean? Like, "Oh, it's this place it's a gym that I go to." After that, I think we started realizing we had 3 memberships. Right? We had a membership that was $60, which was 2 days a week of training. There was one that was $120, which was 3 days of training, and then there was a $150 plan, which involved unlimited training. Doesn't matter what day, what time you go. Going into it, started realizing that it was too many options. Like, I try to put myself in you always got to, as a business owner, you got to put yourself in the customer's shoes or client's shoes or whatever they are. You got to think, okay, if I walk into the gym, they got 3 options. I'm not that financially stable. I'm a college student or whatever it is, the situation is. I can't afford $150 a month, right? Realistically,
that's pricey on a lot of people's head.
$150 is a lot. For when you think of gym, you think of like $20 a month, $50 a month, something like that. $150 a month. But people don't take into consideration that it's personal training or someone else is training you. And so after like, I would say like after those, probably like after like 10 clients, I'm gonna say, we decided, you know what, maybe it's too pricey, and the people are usually going with the lowest, the $60 plan, right? Because it's the most affordable, and you get 2 days a week. I mean, at least it's something, right? So we decided to just drop our plan. Actually, we didn't drop it yet. We decided to give a deal, which was in December. We decided to do this deal, which was like, I don't exactly remember how much it was, but it was kind of like a winter special or whatever for that month of December. So you would pay a certain amount, which was cheaper than the regular plan, for unlimited training, and it was going to be way more convenient. And that's kind of like where it started kind of ticking off slowly. People started, oh, you know what, that sounds like a good deal, I'm going to go. Okay. And I actually skipped something. I'm going to go back to my birthday. My birthday was in November. In November, I hosted this birthday workout at the gym. Okay. And I kid you not, we had at least 30 to 50 people in that gym. In the 1,300 square foot gym, we had at least 30 to 50 people in that gym. And, I mean, you're going to think 30, or, you know, at least one of those 30 or 50 people are going to be interested and be like, hey, you know what? Right? Like, I mean, I didn't expect that. Keep in mind, we only had like 5 to 10 clients at the time now. So, you know, it's like, so that's another reason people started coming. They're like, oh, you know what? I hosted something big. There was a big amount of people. And now it's like, well, something's going to come out of it.
Something's fizzling now, right?
And that wasn't even my intention. My intention was just to host something because I couldn't do a birthday party. And I knew I had to be at the gym because it was a work day, you know? So being there, it's like, damn, like I would have never imagined that 3 to 5 people would sign up just because of this. So it's like little things like that. I started learning, like, okay, when you do something big, people, you know,
notice it.
If you host this big majority, not 50 people are going to sign up, but at least one person,
one of those 50
is going to sign up. And that's when I started thinking, like, you know, same with social media. You post something, you get 15 likes. Whatever, 15 likes. People are getting like thousands of likes or whatever it is. But a portion of those people are actually going to be interested in what you're doing.
That's right, and it's I find it humbling sometimes too. Dude, when stuff like that happens. It's one of those things where it's I love my community, but we're not the most popular here. Mm-hmm. You know, like on YouTube, exactly. I was just like, we're not popular, but I'm gonna tell you what. Recently, throughout the interviews I've done in the past, go check them out, you guys, if you like. It's growing, and yeah, maybe my last interviews are only like at maybe like 130 each a piece. Mm-hmm. But that is 10 times better than when I was at 30 views.
Exactly. And then those people that are popular now weren't popular when they started. That's the thing.
And so it's taking that time to invest in yourself and tell yourself, hey, it's stressful. 35 clients. Yeah. I'm at so-and-so subscribers, you know, like on my part, and then 35 clients on your part. This sucks. It's not going as well as I want. but now look at where
exactly.
you're at now. Now
Exactly.
you're at 30 clients, and not just, oh yeah, I'm at 30 clients, stop. No,
right. No,
it's 30 clients and
going
more.
And
I'm
more,
gonna keep climbing the ladder. Keep
you
climbing
gotta.
the
I
stairs.
guess you gotta have a goal. Right?
There you go. Okay, so that's a good question right there. Something that I'd like to get into. Did you have a goal getting, like, obviously it was starting a gym, but was there anything after that? Was there more that you felt like you wanted to do with the gym, or was it just like, hey, I love fitness and this is what I want to do?
I think to start, it was definitely just like I love fitness and I just want to train people, right? But starting to realize, like, okay, each business has to have a purpose, right? And so I had to find one, and our purpose was to better the health of our community, especially in Lodi. I find that a lot of people are overweight. We are surrounded by nothing but fast food and dine-in restaurants and wine.
Yeah.
So
welcome to the valley, guys. Welcome to the Central Valley.
So it was like, yeah, no, this isn't right. Well, not right. It was just, it's not healthy. Right. You know what I mean? And I was like, if I have this passion for myself, I have it for a reason, and that's because I want to be healthy, right? And fit, obviously. But I think the most important thing is just being healthy. The fit part just comes with it. Right. It was kind of like a bonus, right?
So when you say healthy, what does healthy mean? Like, does healthy mean I'm thin? Am I healthy?
Right.
Or is
and that's what most people think.
Or is it no? Hey, I'm supplementing right. I'm eating the right nutrition,
right?
And I'm getting into all that. And let's get into that after the break.
Yep.
Back from that break, real quick. And we were speaking about being healthy and what healthy means, and I'm using air quotes for those that aren't seeing on YouTube right now. I look at myself, or like someone could look at me, right? Okay, Christian's skinny, or he's thin. That guy's healthy. He must do a lot.
Right.
I don't, you guys. I'm probably not that healthy. I don't really run, you guys. I literally, it's the podcast and my 9 to 5. But to a lot of people, I'm healthy, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because it's not the normal.
It's the look.
The aesthetics versus the actual like internal mechanics of it all. Yeah. So coming from or knowing a lot of fitness and nutrition, what does healthy mean? Like what does that mean to you?
To me, I think when I think of healthy, of course, like you said, people think aesthetically. Yeah. Just being fit, looking fit, being, I guess, as long as you're not too skinny, too fat. That's how people put it, right? You have to be somewhere in between to be healthy, but not necessarily the case. And to me, being healthy just means, I think internally is the most important part. Being able to move, being able to, to just be up, have that energy all day, every day, to just do what you normally do, right? Pretty much just making sure that because your heart's a muscle. Make sure that your heart's working properly.
Didn't even know that.
Being as strong as possible, dude. That's the strongest muscle. Like you have to make sure your heart is the strongest muscle out of all. It doesn't matter if you have big arms, big legs, big chest, anything. It doesn't matter. The heart has to be the healthiest part. Like you have to make sure that you're working your heart every single day, which is why sometimes I say cardio can do it. A 30-minute walk a day can keep you healthy. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's some people that reach a certain age, and that's as to the youth. That's my advice too, dude. Like, I feel like a lot of the people that are young don't take advantage of the fact that they're young and don't necessarily know or think of what's actually going on in their body. Because, dude, for me, it's like my thought is like, okay, my goal is to be able to be like 60, 70 and be able to do what I do now. Obviously not physically, right? Be able to like lift and stuff like that. But I mean, like, I want to be able to just walk around. I want to be able to hang out with my family. I want to be able to, you know, I don't want to just be this disabled in some way. I don't want to be in a wheelchair. I don't want to be using a cane. I want to be able to walk normally. You know what I mean? My grandpa just turned 69, right? And I look up to him a lot, right? I don't know much about his past and stuff like that, like where he worked, like what he did. Like, I mean, I do know, but it's not like my biggest thing is the fact that he is alive. He wakes up every morning. He takes 3 walks a day. 3 walks a day. And he's 69 years old. He is nowhere near limping, having some type of health issue. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, he just recently had something wrong with his foot, but I mean, he's recovering now, and I guarantee he's gonna go back to what he was doing. And I'm like, I'm 24 and I complain sometimes, dude.
Time.
I complain about like, like, dude, I have to work this job, I have to work this long, I have to be here this long, like, oh, I don't feel like working out today, oh, I don't want to do my cardio today. And I'm like, dude, we're talking about 24 years old. Like, dude, this is our prime right now. Like, anywhere from 20 to 30, you're at your prime. Like, you should be able to grow in every single way possible, like mentally, physically, like emotionally. This is where you learn, right? So I'm like, I'm complaining at 24. My grandpa is 69, damn near 70 years old, and he's living life. You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's my goal. Is like, he still has probably another like 10 years and to be 80, and he'll still probably be able to be. I mean, obviously not the same. You do age, obviously, and your body knows it, but you do the most to keep yourself healthy, right? That's what I'm saying. That's what healthy is like, be able to grow old, and you're still able to do the same thing you're doing. Now, what did trigger it though, when he was younger, he got diabetes, and he does have diabetes, right? And that's what triggered it. But a lot of people, when they have diabetes, what they do is or any illness, doesn't matter what type of condition they have, most of the time they give up on themselves, right? They're like, oh, I have diabetes, but I mean, I'll take care of it. Right now I'm young, especially at a young age. Yeah, you're like whatever. I mean, but you got to remember, that's going to affect you in the long run. It's definitely going to hurt you in the long run. And so, I mean, that's just what I'm saying is like, to the youth, just take care of yourselves. You know what I'm saying?
We just talked a lot about physical health. What does mental health mean to you?
Mental health.
Is that, do you believe that goes hand in hand?
It does.
With my physical
really
health
does.
And my mental health. Can I do this, but I'm not mentally here?
I honestly don't think that you can be physically healthy if you're not mentally healthy. It starts with the mind. Your mind has to tell you to do something and for your body to do it. You know what I mean? You can't just wake up one day and just be like, you just start lifting. You know what I mean? You don't start lifting a weight because that's what your body naturally does. No, you have to tell yourself to do it. You know what I mean? So I think when it comes to being mentally healthy, you have to start with coming up with, have this goal, right? Goal for the day. You wake up and you're like, okay, well, I have this goal to be healthy when I'm older. So what is the first step to do? You know, what is the first thing I need to do that? What is the first step? What does the process have to start to even get to that point? You know what I mean? And you got to think it all starts now. Now, when things go wrong, obviously, I like to keep a positive mentality. Like, I don't like to be, how can I say it? When something goes wrong, I mean, you can ask anyone I know, dude. I mean, like, anyone that really knows me. When something goes wrong, I'm not the type of person to just put my head down right away. Like, I think, like, well, it's a situation, but it's not impossible to find a solution to it. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know what I mean? That's something that you can easily recover from. You know what I mean? It's like, for example, COVID happened, right? And I think people that, not necessarily mentally unhealthy, but more like, I think the term mentally health, it's like being able to just kind of keep your mind right? And not put yourself down. And that's, like I said, it starts with the mind. So with this whole COVID situation, we had to close, right? Government said close. And remember, this is my business that I wanted to grow. We just got 30 clients. And you're telling me now I have to close? How long is this going to last? You know what I mean? All this goes through your mind. I'm not saying it's like, oh, whatever. No, I mean, I think about it, right? But that's the thing is, you got to think about all the actual problem. Give yourself options. Like, okay, if this scenario happens, this is what we're going to do. If it continues, let's say, for example, if COVID is only a month, well, that's fine. We'll do something else, online training for a month. If COVID lasts more than a month and we go on for 2, well, then you got to find your ways. You got to give yourself another option. You know, give yourself 3 scenarios and find a solution to all of those. All right. And that's something that I read online. It was something on Instagram that I saw, like a post, and that honestly, like, it's helped me a lot because, like I said, I try to keep myself like positive, because here's the thing. If you give yourself negative thoughts and you're just negative about every situation, tell me where that's going to end up. Nowhere. And as to if you were positive about it, I mean, you'll find a solution quicker, because regardless, you're going to have to find a solution, or you're technically telling yourself, I'm just going to give up. You're quitting on yourself if you're negative about something. You know what I mean?
And I agree with that 100%. Or 100%.
That's just it.
So something that we haven't even mentioned yet that I'm like, that's on me, is the name of your gym.
Woke Athletics Gym.
Woke Athletics Gym.
Oh.
Shout out to Woke Athletic. Yeah, I think they can. Yeah. So what made you come up with the name Woke?
Of course. It ties down. It ties in with actually what we're talking about. So like I said, the whole positivity thing. Right. I think, I mean, the term woke means something else. It's kind of like political, right? But the term woke to me was more like when you're, I mean, actually like woke, meaning you're awake. And to me, it's like, so the name actually came from, before I kind of go into what it means to me, it came from, so me and my friend Alvaro, we started this.
Shout outs to Alvaro.
Yeah, shout out Alvaro, man. He's not here, man. He's an electrician working. He's an apprentice.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, he actually does a really good job. I'm not going to lie. He's learned a lot. He does everything by code. If y'all ever need something.
Shout outs to Alvaro. Hit him up.
Yeah, hit him up. But we started this like fitness page, right? Fitness page. And we were trying to.
Is this a website or social media?
It was social media. We actually just wanted to start something like we'd always work out, and we're like, why don't we do something with this, right? And we were inspired by like, what's the name? Chris Heria, then X, stuff like that. It actually came from these guys called the Lost Breed. It's these two guys who work out, and that's pretty much what they do, right? They just work out. And I mean, they got people following them like for days, you know? So we got kind of inspired. We're like, you know what, let's do it. We were young. I mean, we were like, it was probably like 2-3 years ago maybe that we started this. And so we were trying to come up with a name. We were like, what do we call ourselves, you know? And I don't know. We saw something that said stay woke, you know, that little saying everyone says. So, and he was like, why don't we call ourselves like woke something? And I was like, well, like, I don't know, athletics. I don't know, woke athletics. So we were like, oh, woke athletics. I was like, that's it, right there.
On the money.
So, anyways, that's where the name came from. And then when I decided to open the gym, well, we just tied gym to it. So now it's called Woke Athletics Gym. So again, same as the business, you got to find a purpose. So we had to find a purpose for the name, right? So it pretty much means like when situations are given, right? You have to be able to find, like I said, a solution, right? And you have to be able to stay woke, right?
I like that. Yeah,
you know what I mean? If you sleep, like people say, oh, well, don't sleep on me, don't sleep on this. Well, yeah, exactly. Because if you sleep on it, well, you're never going to find out about it, or you're going to miss out. Exactly. If you're woke, you know, keep your eyes open to certain things. Keep your eyes open to everything and all your surroundings. Be aware of what's going on around you, because that's exactly how everything's going to come together, right? For example, you see this whole, like I said, going back to COVID, just because we're going through it. When we had to close, well, I could have just been like, well, I'm done. Yeah, I'm done here. You know what I mean? And that's where I consider you sleeping on it. You're sleeping on the solutions, right? If you're woke enough to find out that, hey, you know what? There's a possibility to get through it in some way, somehow, right? So that's just an example. But like I said, it's pretty much being aware of your potential. In the gym, it's being aware of your potential, right? And so when you're in the gym, and some people like to give up. Some people are like, no, I can't do it. I'm overweight. There's no way in hell I'm going to come back to a lower weight.
So people staying woke and finding differences, right?
Yeah, right. So like I said, I mean, there's people that in the gym, let's put in this gym situation, gym scenario, because that's pretty much where we're actually taking this name to. Like I said, there's people that don't believe that they can actually drop weight or gain muscle or whatever it is their goal is, right? And we like to prove to them that it's possible. It's very possible, right? As long as you're woke, right?
There you go. The right mentality, right?
Exactly. Have the right mentality. Just trust the process. For sure. That's definitely like a great saying, is trust the process, because a lot of things that we've been going through is trust the process. We opened a business and we were dying down. Hey, tell myself, trust the process, dude. Guess what? Look where we're at now. You know what I mean? Weight-wise, for example, currently doing a prep for a bodybuilding show. Okay, I did it last year too. That was my first show. Yeah. And I thought, damn, dude. I mean, I used to have had abs in high school. I wasn't ripped, but I had abs in high school, right? And I mean, when I came to this prep, I had already gained I was like 130 in high school, something like that, 140, something like that. I wasn't too off. I was maybe like 10, 12 pounds off, but that's all body fat. That wasn't like muscle that I gained over time. No, that was body fat. And to drop body fat, it's a problem, right? It's hard. It's definitely a slow process. Like, you have to just trust the process, and I did. And if you guys check on my Instagram,
it's going to be in the link.
He'll tag it. If you scroll down, you guys will see my transformation, and that happened because I was giving up. I kind of mentally I was being mentally unhealthy. Yeah. I stuck through it, and I said, you know what? I already started something. Might as well finish, right? Trusted it, and look where I ended up. But that's to say is I was being woke about the situation, right? I was telling myself it's very possible. And that's just what it means. Like I said, the people that don't believe that they can't do something, it's like, you guys just trust it. If you fully are committed and you fully believe that you have the potential to do something, just do it. If you have a goal, if you have you had a random thought, just go through with it. Especially if you believe and you're interested and you know damn well that you're going to be able to just 100% dedicate yourself. Yeah. Have the discipline. Sure. Self-discipline comes in hand. Just do it. Okay. All right. That's pretty much it. So, I mean, like I said, going back, woke just means be aware of your potential, be aware of the possibilities, right? Be aware that there is going to be a downfall somewhere, like I mentioned before. And through all those situations, you just have to be woke. That's what it means. Mm-hmm. Like that.
So out of everything you've learned so far, best advice you can give someone who said, or what's the best advice you can give someone who tells you, Saul, I want to lose weight and I want to be healthy? When you hear that, what does that mean to you, and what's your best advice to that?
Well, first I question what their situation is in now, because I mean,
such as what?
So, for example, I mean, if you have someone overweight, right? Yeah. First, you got to find the problem. Why are you overweight? And you don't just obviously act directly, but you ask, what's your eating like? What's your daily life like? There you go. That's a better way to put it. What's their daily life like? Obviously, they're going to give me, I eat a lot of fast food. I drink a lot of soda. And that's stuff that I ask, do you go out to eat every day? What kind of foods do you eat when you go out? Do you drink soda? Do you drink beer? Beer is a lot of men's problem.
You're looking at one of the biggest beer drinkers, IPAs, ales, and everything.
And so pretty much that's what I do. It's kind of like a questionnaire. I mean, and if you go to any gym, they call it something else. It's like I don't know, but they have a specific name for the questionnaire. But they ask, obviously they don't ask personal stuff like that. But me, because it's my gym, it's my business, I need to know what is the problem, right? Not necessarily what is your problem, but what is the problem? What is keeping you overweight? And so simply, we just think, okay, if they eat out every single day, that's fine. I just say, look, let's start by eating out. Just keep going. Just keep eating. Eat your fast food. That's fine, right? Because you can't just change something like that. You can't just be like, well, don't eat out anymore. Because what happens is it's not something that's realistically. You can't stay consistent with that. Someone that's been doing it, you can't just stop doing that. It's not right. So what you say is like, okay, I would just tell them, well, okay, instead of eating out 6 days a week, let's reduce that to 4, right? And the rest of the days, well, I'll give you a certain meals that you should try to eat, right? Or just try to make homemade food. It doesn't matter. If you want to eat hamburgers and cheeseburgers from In-N-Out, well, how about go to the store? They sell patties, they sell bread, they sell cheese, they sell lettuce, they sell all the stuff that they put on a cheeseburger at In-N-Out. Make it at home. you're still eating a cheeseburger, but you know what you're eating. It's not processed. You know what they put. You know what you're putting in it. You know how you season it. You know all that kind of stuff. So that's just an example, right? You pretty much find out what's causing the issue, and you got to try to find a way to reduce that.
So what would you say to the person? But Saul, I gotta go to the store now. I gotta cook something. How do you help to motivate someone that's saying, "Man, dude, I don't want to do all that. That's too many steps." When I could go to when I can go to In-N-Out and just buy something.
Right. So I question first. Okay. So biggest question here is why? Why did you come to me if you don't want to change? Right. I mean, you're asking me for advice. You're asking me for help. Right. And I'm giving you the advice you need. And I'm trying to help you as much as I can. And it's not even that hard to change. Right. But yet you're telling me that you don't want to do what I'm telling you to do to help you out, right? So it's like, so then I question, so are you really looking into losing weight? Like, is this really something you want to do? Because if you are, you would just say, I want to do it. All right, let's do it. Whatever, I don't care what it is, I'm going to do it. And don't get me wrong, we've had people that come into the gym, we've had clients who are fully dedicated, like dead on, like they have lost. We have a client, actually, I'm gonna shout her out, Megan. Megan started with us last year, right? And she's lost 50 pounds, I believe, a little, or maybe even over 50 pounds. That's right? Incredible. And she's only 10 pounds away from her goal.
That's incredible.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And that was through taking that advice. She really wanted to change her lifestyle. I mean, there was other personal things that were going on in her life, and you know what? She said, I'm going to focus on myself. And so she did, and look at the results. Now, then there's people who just say, hey, I want to lose weight, and don't fully commit. I mean, they might exercise, they might go to the gym every day, but they don't want to eat right. So it's like, it's a balance. You have to be able to balance. You have to be able to implement both things. You have to be able to eat right, which is actually the most important. And then you have to be you come into the gym and you work out. We take care of the working out for you. So all you have to take care about is the food. That's it. So, I mean,
on that note, we're going to take a quick pause. So what would you tell the person that tells you, all right, so I want to do that, but I don't have the time. Like, I got a job, I got a kid, so many stresses. Like, what do you tell that folk? Like someone that comes to you like that says, I want to lose weight, but I just don't have the time.
And I've actually had people that do it. I've actually been myself. I've actually fallen into that problem before myself. And I tell myself, I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to do this. But the thing is, that's where you have to think. Do I realistically have time to go to the gym and eat right? Eat right, I think everyone has the time for. You just have to find, even if it's that hour that you're, those 15 minutes on your break, right, that you're on your phone, or those last 30 minutes of the day where you're going to go to sleep, but yet you're on your phone. That's 30 minutes that you could have taken in your day to make a meal for the next. You know what I mean? Or to cook something. It doesn't matter. Even if it's, here's another thing. A lot of people say, well, I go to work at 7 in the morning, right? I wake up at 6. I don't have time. Like, I go to work right now. Wake up earlier.
Simple as that.
Wake up earlier. I mean, it is harder. And like I said, I've done it before. And I tell myself I can't. And they're like, same thing. Well, wake up earlier. And I'm just like, I'm not a morning person. There's no way I'm going to wake up. All right, then. If you're not a morning person, then stay up later.
Yeah. That's funny. Yeah.
Stay up later.
I like that. Yeah.
If really throughout the day you don't have time, and this is really what you want to do, right? You're telling me, I really want to lose weight, but I work at this time. I have school at this time. Oh, actually I have a second job, right? I'm busy from like 7 in the morning to like 9 p.m. Well, if this is something you really want, wake up at 5 or stay up till 10. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's just saying that. I mean, I'm not saying like a lot of people will take that as like, damn, this guy's an asshole, right? But no, it's just, if this is something you want to do, I'm telling you exactly right now what you have to do, right? You don't tell me you don't have time, because there's a lot of people out there that you may not know that have the busiest schedules, and they are healthy as hell. Like, they work out, they are fit, they work. Right. You know what? If you can't go to the gym, that's fine. choose workouts that you can work out from home. You don't even have to go to the gym. And if you want my help, I'll just send you. You can literally pay me, and I'll give you a whole meal plan, and I'll train you from home. If that's the case, you know what I mean. You don't need weights. You could do push-ups. You could do. You could do. There's a lot of alternatives. You could do sit-ups. You could do anything. You could do cardio at home. You go run around the block. Right. You don't even need a treadmill. You know what I mean. So there's always a way. So when people tell me they don't have time,
you're just
in my head, I'm just like, then it's something that you don't want to do.
Yeah.
And I understand. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I said, I have fallen into that problem, but I've learned that there's always a way. Where there's a will, there's a way, man. You know what I mean?
So now, what would you tell the person? Hey, I'm doing what you're saying. I'm eating right. I'm exercising right. I got the positive attitude. But why aren't I seeing the results I want? So
that comes down to like a personal, I would say like personal issue. Not saying like, oh well, that's your fault. Right, no, right. But there has to be something that's stopping your results. That's not helping you, right? Yes, let's say for example, you tell me you're eating right. You tell me you're exercising right, and you're keeping that positive mindset, like you said. But somewhere in that diet, you're still like drinking soda, but you're not being honest to yourself. A lot of the times when people tell me that like I'm working out, I'm doing the diet, but it's not working, that's because there's something that you're doing that you're not being honest to yourself about, right? And truthfully, that's most likely the case. You know what I mean? And like people are like, for example, a lot of people tend to do the Monday to Friday, 5 days a week thing, right? And for example, they work out 5 days a week. Their diet is on point 5 days a week. But what happens on the weekend when you go to a birthday party?
You have the cake, you have the beer, you have the chips, you have the burger.
Right, and you can't tell me, well, I'm eating right. And yes, you are. That's fine. But you got to, I mean, this comes from like someone who knows about fitness and you know, health will tell you, you got to think about all those calories that you're adding up on the weekend or even on one day, one Saturday, right? But then remember, it's a slow process. Like this whole weight loss thing is a slow process. So you got to think you're only stopping the process, or you're limiting it, right? You're starting to limit your results. Though that one Saturday that you have that cake, and let's say that's every Saturday, that's 4 times a month, right? That's almost a whole week. That's almost a whole week. That's 4 days a week, for example. So technically, think about it. Or even think about this. Think about a weekend of just going out like, hey, you know what? I'm going to dedicate myself weekdays. And then weekends, I'm just going to go out and just, you know, have fun, have a good time, live life, right? That's cool. Now you're talking about 8 days, right? 8 days. So think about it. You worked so hard 4 weeks. But at the end of the month, really think about it. You actually only worked out 3 weeks because one you wasted. Think about it.
And that's where people, I guess we're like as more of a I guess call myself like an ordinary Joe would tell you like, oh, that's why I don't see it, or it's just because I'm just not being honest with you and myself.
Yeah, so that's what I would ask you, like, hey, like, okay, be honest with me. Are you fully doing the diet plan? Are you fully? I mean, coming to the gym, I would know, right? But I'm gonna ask. Yeah. Are you fully putting in 100% when you come to the gym, or are you just kind of like, I don't feel like doing it today? Because, I mean, you can work out. That's fine. But are you really putting it in your all when you do your workouts? You can half-ass it. And half-assing it isn't going to get you results. Yeah. Right? I mean, on a typical day, you could burn 400 calories, for example, in an hour in a session, right? But then there's going to be days where you don't feel like doing anything and you only burn 200. Well, like I said, if you're not putting in 100%, to everything that you're doing, you got to fully commit to get the results. If you don't fully commit, you're not going to get the results. That's just honestly. So like, I don't know if that answers your question.
No, that does. And I feel like that's a question a lot of people would have or would like to say, you know, because we all have excuses. Right. We all have a list of excuses.
That's for sure.
I don't have time.
I have excuses myself.
No, that's what I'm saying. I was like, no one's perfect. Yeah. We're all flawed in some way, somehow.
Yeah. But like I said, it's based on your comfort level.
The commitment.
Yeah.
of
fully.
actually losing the weight and being you're healthy, not the supermodel in the magazine healthy or whatever but like the actual your inside being
Exactly.
healthy, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm gonna talk about myself real quick. Just it kind of ties in because okay, look, when I told you about the bodybuilding show, for example, I didn't do it. By the way, if you ever want to do a bodybuilding show, don't do it to look good. Okay, that's something I learned. Do not do it because you're gonna get these crazy results, right? Because it's you put yourself in an unhealthy state, mentally and physically. At the end, for example, it was a 12-week prep, right? 12-week prep, and it's like strict. Like we're talking about like I said, 100% commitment on diet, working out. There is no cheat days, nothing like that. Like you have to hit the specific amount of calories, specific amount of what's called macronutrients, which is your protein, your carbohydrates, and fat, right? You have to hit the specific numbers each and every single day for 3 months. Now, on a typical day, I would eat 2,300 calories, right? 2,300 calories, like just normal, like general, without trying to like lose weight, just kind of maintaining where I'm at, living life, whatever. I'm talking about I had to drop down for the last month or so to 1,300 calories. We're talking about 1,000 calories less. Huge deficit. Just to get the look that I need to be on stage. Okay, that's just tip. Okay, don't do it to look good. Now, I did it though, not for my physical state, but this is where you're coming for the mental health, right? To get mentally stronger, mentally tougher, right? I wanted to be mentally tough. Okay, so what you learn through that is self-discipline, and self-discipline is probably like the biggest key to anything you want to do. Anything that involves, especially fitness. If you really want to lose weight, you got to be self-disciplined, and what that means is when someone, for example, you're at a party, you don't have to eat. You don't have to eat what there is there. You can eat before you go. You can have a sip of water. And for example, I say, hey, Christian, hey, bro, you know what? Just have a beer, dude. You know, and you're like, well, whatever, man, one beer won't hurt me, right? But you're already being mentally weak there because you know damn well you're not supposed to have that beer. Yeah. But you want to have a good time, and then you're going to take that beer, right? But in reality, what is your goal? Your goal is to be self-disciplined, and right there you've already failed. So it doesn't matter if you have 2 months left of your prep. You failed yourself right there. I mean, you could come back and recover, but you still failed. You know what I mean? So instead you say, learning to say no. So say, you know what? Hey, bro, you know what? I hope you understand. I'm on a prep. I'm doing this bodybuilding session. I want to lose weight. I'm trying to build muscle. But so you know what? I can't have that beer. I have water, man. It's cool. And that's what it takes right there. Right there, you've already passed. Right? And so imagine doing that. Or I'm talking about, I mean, depending on how long this process is, but like I said, it's a slow process. So imagine 3 months of just saying no to things and being around the same environments you're always at. Like, you're not just going to hide yourself because, you know what I mean? No. I mean, technically you can do that, but
what's a healthy lifestyle?
Yeah. How about you go and challenge yourself? How about you go test yourself? And that's how you'll know, like, oh, damn. And so, look, I've got my results, and so I learned self-discipline. So now that I know, I like to help people have that mindset. You know what I mean? Like, hey, man, if you really want to lose weight, look, I'm telling you right now, what are you going to go eat tonight? And tell me, look, well, honestly, my girlfriend, and that's another problem. My girlfriend wants to go eat Carl's Jr. Well, I mean, what are you going to eat from Carl's Jr.? I mean, there's things you can eat from Carl's Jr., right? I'm not saying you can't eat that, but what are you going to eat realistically? And they try to be like honest and stuff, right? And there's some people that are and some people that aren't. But like I said, that comes back to you being honest to yourself. You're not disappointing me, right? You're only going to hurt yourself, right?
You're the one I'm making.
I'm just helping you out. Yeah. I'm just telling you what you need to do to get there. And if you don't want to if you really don't want to get to that results, then you're just going to lie to yourself and cheat yourself. And that's just the truth.
Yeah, and that's not. On that, we're going to take a quick pause.
Yep.
So after all, if you guys are still sticking by, thank you. Like and subscribe.
Yep.
We're going to start wrapping it up. So out of all that and everything we've listened to, give us one more time your best advice out of being healthy. Like, so best advice you could give me for being healthy. And I'm just me, just a regular person.
Okay.
Regular person.
I mean, if I were to tell you, for example, I would just say, food-wise, just try to stick to natural foods, whole foods. Try to stay away from fast food, right? Physically, I would just say, I mean, dude, if you could do 30-minute walks for every day or 5 days a week, man, do that. You don't have to do crazy stuff. No one ever has to do weightlifting and strict dieting, and it doesn't take that to be healthy. It takes that to do certain things. For example, to do a bodybuilding show, to, lose weight. Even then, don't necessarily have to go through that extreme. Like you said, the extreme is not necessary for anything that has to do with being healthy. You could be healthy. Like I said, my grandpa's 69 and he's healthy. Yeah. You know what I mean? And he doesn't go lift weights. He doesn't do anything. What does he do? He just takes 3 walks a day and eats good foods. That's it.
Wholesome foodies.
Whole foods, yeah. So what I mean by that is just things that aren't processed. Things from the gas station, like chips, like little packaged donuts, Snickers bars. And I'm not saying you can't eat that. I mean, yeah, enjoy your life. Enjoy yourself, dude. You always have to, because if not, you're never going to be happy. You know what I mean? You can't realistically live your life strict dieting and lifting weights, right? You're going to come to a point where
gassed out.
You're just going to gas out. You're going to be overwhelmed because you have to keep doing the same thing every single day. So no, don't do that. You know what I mean? Just do like you said. Here and there, eat what you want, dude. I mean, you go out and have a damn pizza. Go out and have some cheeseburgers. Yeah. That's fine. But what I'm saying is limit. You know what I mean? Have a limit. Just know that I'm not going to do this every day, because that's where the problems start. You know what I mean? Your body's capable of so much. You know what I mean? A lot, actually. And people don't realize what they put their bodies through. So just really pay attention to what you're doing to yourself, right? And that's just it. That's like the best piece of advice, is just pay attention to what you're doing to your own body, right? If you know what you're doing to your body, the rest takes care of itself. You know what I mean? If you want to go out and drink with your friends one day, go for it. That's fine. But don't become an alcoholic and start doing that every single weekend. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's about limiting, dude. Limiting factors. That's it. Just limit things that you know aren't good for your body. No one else's. You know, your friend that offers you that beer, he's not going to win that competition for you. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. Whatever, even if it's not a competition, that friend for you, you know what I mean? Let him drink for you. You don't have to do it to yourself. Or just be like, hey, man, you know what? I think, you should probably, I realize that you're drinking too much, man. Maybe you should stop or something like that. Again, even then, help yourself, but also help others. You know what I mean? The more you help yourself, the more you're able to help others.
And I feel like if, again, if that's your friend, that is something, that
you want to do.
You want to do and you can do.
Yeah. Or even if you notice your friend, like, hey, man, like, you're gaining a lot of weight, bro. Like, and it's not to be rude. I mean, if you're a friend, you're going to tell them the truth. You know what I mean? Maybe you should probably think about what you're doing. I'm not saying, like I said, you yourself could become a trainer. You know what I mean? A mental trainer, dude. You don't even have to be certified in anything, dude. As long as you know how to take care of yourself, you can take care of others. I agree. That's as easy as it gets,
So again, tell us the name of your gym.
So, Woke Athletics Gym is
Where can we find you?
Lodi, California. So now we're going to be at 230 South School Street.
Can you repeat that one more time?
Downtown.
For everyone.
And 230 South School Street, Lodi, California.
Lodi, California.
Downtown Lodi, baby.
Thank you, Saul. Thank you for being here, brother, man.
Yes, sir. Of course, any day.
We thank you from the K96 community podcast and everyone. It's been a pleasure. All his Instagram is going to be down there. Where can we find you? Instagram, Facebook?
Instagram and Facebook.
Let us know.
That's just the only two that we use for our business, and personal too. So that's pretty much the main one. So yeah, follow us on Instagram and Facebook, and we gladly appreciate it. Every follow means a lot. We're just hoping to help one person at least. With everything that we do on social media too. So.
Thank you guys. If you guys have been watching this far along, like and subscribe, all that. Again, that stuff really does count and it really does matter. Mm-hmm. Thank you again. That's Woke Athletics, you guys. Please check him out. Fantastic trainer. Fantastic.
Thanks,
fantastic.
Appreciate it.
Just gym in general. So you guys give him a cool shout out. And we out. Peace.
Peace.